Hey, and welcome back to Commodity Corner. We're just going to get right into it. There was a lot of stuff that happened, so we're just going to get right into it. So I'm opening up today specifically with copper. Why copper? Because copper got slaughtered this week. Being down 22.5% in one day, anything is a slaughtering, but specifically in a commodity is just disaster. Disaster. Now I have this up as RTH because I want to show you where this thing actually ended up. So I'm not going to get into what happened in copper in terms of the tariff news because you can look it up, and by now it's already Sunday. You probably already know already, so there's no point in bringing tariff. But copper is back to April lows. That's bottom line. Copper is back to where it was in April. The metal got annihilated. Okay. The point being of why I'm bringing this up specifically first is because whether you're trading commodities, whether you're trading stocks, it doesn't matter right now. Headlines are coming fast and furious. And if you're in the wrong thing and you don't have a stop and you're stubborn, you could get destroyed. I don't even have to tell you because you probably could see it for yourself. How many people do you think got killed on Wednesday off of that tariff news? You really had seconds to react. But if you didn't have a stop in, people got their accounts blown up. So if you're going to do this, I'm want to measure my words carefully. Make sure you always have a stop in the market and you always know where you're getting out if you're wrong. Not where am I losing too much money, but where am I actually wrong? Okay. The reason why I'm bringing up copper, and I'm going to end off with copper right now, but the reason why I'm bringing it up first is because you need to expect the unexpected, whether it's stocks, whether it's in commodities, it doesn't matter. If things want to go, they're going to go. Now, this was I wouldn't even call, this was almost like a black swan event, but it was happened during the day, but it was almost like a black swan event with this tariff business. So you really have to be careful more than anything else. Please just trade with stops. Know where you're getting out if you're wrong. If you don't know what something is and it's not something you're comfortable with, then just stay away from it. You gain nothing by saying I got my ass kicked in something that you shouldn't have been in to begin with. Okay. Is it going to take a couple of days now for this to figure out what it wants to do and where it wants to go? 100%. I don't think people are quick to commit capital to copper. Okay. But I wanted to just show it as an example. Let's go into the other stuff. So obviously oil, again, I like to keep these things on RTH because I like to show you where it's really going in the most volume and most liquidity. And then you do get there's a lot more volatility sometimes in intraday than there is in the overnight, just because, again, volume and liquidity. So obviously we were expecting the hikes. We got the hikes out of the way. What is oil going to do from here from now? I don't know. I think the biggest issue is not even so much OPEC at this point with oil. It's really more, which is kind of weird, but Russian sanctions and what happens with Russia and Iranian oil, which are both technically still under sanctions. So, but the market's keying off of that than it is anything else. We had inventory numbers that were, to a certain extent, bearish leaning side of things, depending on how you want to look at it. It's really more bearish on Wednesday. However, we are above or we're below the 5-year average on inventories. So that's why there's a bid under oil. So you got to be a little bit more careful with what's going on. And you can't really focus too much on the week to week numbers because the week to week numbers are just, everybody's focusing on that. And if you don't really know how to interpret it, and you don't know what's really happening in longer timeframes, not charts, but in longer timeframes of where inventories are, you could misinterpret that data. And then you have a day where on Wednesday where you think the market should go down and the market goes up. And you're like, why is the market going up for? I don't understand. And you're fighting it. And the next thing you know, you're making messes. So the moral of the story is just like copper, understand what you're in and why, and understand what's happening, and don't focus on short-term data that you might not be able to interpret properly. Okay. Same thing happens in natural gas. Natural gas broke $3 this week in the front month contract. It did it in the August contract, and it finally did it in the September contract. So it officially broke $3. It's hanging out over here. We've discussed ad nauseum why this is. I'm not going to bring it up again. You can reference other videos for that. I'm not going to waste your time. It's still bearish. It's still not looking good. It's actually on the bearish side of things. You probably have to be a little bit more careful because over here you're pressing. So really there could be a massive pop at some point. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but there could be one just to clear out some of these late shorts, because really we've had a big move from $4 down to 2. It's been a pretty big move. So there are definitely some people who may get caught in this. So just be on the lookout, be careful. Gasoline, same type of deal. Inventory wise as crude. I put something out on X. You can reference that as well about the inventories. But again, it's not doing anything. It's just a choppy, sloppy mess. Same thing. Diesel, choppy, sloppy mess. Energy really, even if you look at crude, it's just sloppy and choppy. Energy in general is just not the best place to be right now. It's just messy and not easy. Go quickly to some of the metals. Gold continues to be, again, also choppy, sloppy mess. What's going on over there? The one that everybody thought was going to go, but ended up not going last week, myself included, was silver. Silver came back in. It's retesting some of these breakouts. It may want to fill some of these gaps. It's a little bit harder now. It could get, we'll discuss in the wrap up why they're getting harder in 1 second. Platinum also getting more difficult over here. So let's just go into why. Platinum, gold, silver, copper, but these are all hard assets. Stocks are more paper assets. So when people need some kind of protection and they're trying to figure out where to find yield, they'll go to hard assets just to protect, and then they'll come back to paper assets or soft assets. It's sort of like in the stock market when you see like sector rotation where people are leaving certain sectors, whether it be high beta tech because of valuations or growth, and they'll move more into more defensive style things like utilities or consumer staples, things like that, just to protect portfolio. It's the same thing with hard assets. People will do that. The metals right now, they've fallen out of favor. They were at one point, platinum was the rock star of the group. It's fallen out of favor. We'll see. You could have an aisle reversal here to the upside. It's very possible tomorrow. Right now we're trading at 1328. We're about over here right now, so we haven't gotten it. So we'll see where it is tomorrow morning. So you could get some kind of reversal of that regard for possible a move back up, but they're definitely fallen out of favor. The one that was looking the best at going into last week or into this week was silver. Silver was close to taking out 2011 highs, and then it got rejected. So we'll see how that plays out this week. Just go quickly to grains. The grains are starting to roll over slowly. Specifically, beans are starting to roll over. One I never usually talk about, bean oil, is starting to roll over. Another one, bean meal, again, also rolled over, holding, but the trend is down. So the bean space is not looking so awesome anymore, or not as healthy. Wheat rolling over. Last but not least, corn, the trend is down. So, I mean, the grain space is kind of just doing its own thing. It usually trades in its own world. I'm going to stay away from the softs. We'll reconvene on those next week. But to go into this week, we do have, obviously the OPEC news is out of the way. It's possible that we're going to trade in the zone in oil, or we could just do nothing. It's really a crapshoot now. The primary reason for that, I know this is getting a little long in the tooth, but the primary reason is the summertime. In summertime, and especially we're going into August, we're in August, things really slow down, volume slow down, liquidity slows down, volatility slows down, everything slows down. So you really have to manage expectations and really pick your spots when you want to be involved versus when you don't want to be involved. Cash is a position. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.